My history teacher failed me because my handwriting was too nice for a poor kid. She said working class students don't have time to develop pretty letters and accused me of parent forgery. When I made a TikTok showing my handwriting samples from age 7, it went viral and exposed her 15-year pattern of failing students from low-income families to destroy their scholarship chances. My history teacher, Ms. D. Thompson, was convinced I was cheating because I had nice handwriting. She joined our school after working 20 years at some fancy academy. You know the type. Lacrosse, Ralph Lauren, and pretty girls with trust funds. You could tell she thought we were all trash. And after our Civil War essay, I was proven right, because that's when she called me back after school. "Sarah," she said, holding my essay between two fingers like it might bite her, "this isn't your handwriting." I literally froze for a sec like, bruh, what? Of course it is. Students from working families don't have time to develop handwriting like this. Your parents clearly wrote this for you. The audacity. Like, ma'am, just because we shop at Target doesn't mean we can't write pretty letters. I tried explaining how my big sister taught me during summer when I was 7, that I was so bored I spent hours practicing in those old-fashioned workbooks she bought me. But that wasn't good enough for Ms. Her Fancy Pants. "I'm giving you a 0 for parent forgery," she announced. "I've been teaching for 25 years. I know authentic student work when I see it." "Yeah, well, I've been poor for 17 years, and I know a stuck-up etch when I see one," I wanted to say. But instead, I strategized. And for our next assignment on the Constitution, I purposely wrote with my left hand. I even added a few crossed-out words and made my letters less uniform. It called me to turn in something that looked clapped, but I figured it was better than another 0. A week later, Ms. Thompson handed it back with a C- and angry red ink everywhere. "You're deliberately trying to make your writing look R-worded," she said when everyone had left. "This is just another form of deception." I was so angry that I didn't even notice that my teacher just used a slur. "Are you serious? First my writing is too good, so I make it messier, and now that's cheating too?" She leaned back in her chair and crossed her arms. Students who forge their parents' handwriting often try to cover their tracks like this. The rumors started spreading. Suddenly, Emma with her art background was under suspicion. Tommy, whose dad was a font designer, got called out next. Anyone with decent handwriting became a target. But instead of coming to her senses, she announced a new policy. I had to complete all assignments in her classroom during lunch detention so she could watch me write. FML. I sat there every single day, crafting essays while she stood so close to me I could smell her nasty vegetable breath. She'd roll her eyes and mumble things like, "Public school kids just don't develop these skills." Like, bitch, what? Just say you hate poor people and go. The breaking point came during our midterm, a 2-hour in-class essay on the Industrial Revolution. No notes, no leaving the room, just me and my pen and 3 blue books. I wrote carefully about labor conditions and technological advancement, my hand cramping by the end. Got it back with a giant F and red ink everywhere. "Mandatory meeting," scrawled across the front. I stayed after class, my hands shaking with rage. "You watched me write this," I said, voice shaking, "for 3 hours. In this room. How is this possible?" She pulled out her phone and showed me a screenshot from some teaching forum. "I've been researching. Students can memorize entire parent-written essays and reproduce them during exam." That's when I lost it. I yanked my backpack open and pulled out everything. My journal from 8th grade, birthday cards I'd written to friends, thank you notes with dates on them, mwahaha. "Look at these," I said, spreading them across her desk. "Look at the dates. I've been writing like this since I was 7. She barely glanced at them. "These could all be forged. I know your type." Like, hello? I pinched the bridge of my nose and didn't respond. And the next day, I came into school with an armed weapon, my mother. And if you have a Latina mom, then you know it's like bringing a nuclear bomb to a knife fight. She brought her own handwriting samples, which looked like a doctor's prescription pad had exploded. Completely illegible chicken scratch. "I can barely write my own name legibly," my mom said calmly. "Look